Today I'm going to be showing you how to do your first wild camp. Yes, there's many of you out there that want to do wild camping but don't know where to start or you're too nervous. But we're going to fix that today and we're going to start you wild camping right now. We are going to crack on and we are going to get wild camping today, but we're going to do it as a new beginner, someone that's never wild camped before, because I know there's plenty of you out there that want to do wild camping. You've got your motorhome, you've got your camper van, and you've watched loads of videos, but you still don't know where to start. You're nervous. Now, I can throw tons of hints, tips, and tricks at you, but that still doesn't just defeat the nerves, does it? So we're going to hit the road and we're going to go and get wild camping. Let's do it, shall we? Now, one of my talks recently, which I gave about avoiding the knock, which goes with my book, I've never had the knock whilst wild camping, so I can teach you guys how to do it. Now, I was giving that talk and it was very well received, and it always is, but a lady then asked, she said, like, this is fantastic information, but I'm still scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't want to just, all the information that you've given is, right and probably useful and it will work because it works for me and, I've proven that. But how do I actually start? Now, there's two ways to start if you've never wild camped before but you want to start, because so many people do want to start because the prices of everything is going up, not just campsites but fuel, everything is on the rise. So if you can add a couple of days wild camping to an extended trip away, it can really bring the cost down. So how do you do that? Now, this is going to be contrary to that, because I'm going to recommend a campsite to start with. And when I mean a campsite to start with, I mean like you go to a campsite but you don't plug in, or you get I would get an electric pitch, but don't plug in, because you want to test all your systems. You want to test yourself being off grid, because wild camping is, as much as it is about knowing what to do, how to find park ups and your nervous system and all this and that and feeling comfortable, as it is surviving off grid and being able to have your motorhome off grid. So that's why I recommend you go to a campsite for the very first time, because got a rattle there. You can go to a campsite, you can park up, you're fine to be there, there's not a problem with that. You can set everything up like normal, like you would as you're going to stealth camp and you're going to wild camp. You just don't plug in. Now, you run your systems as you would if you were wild camping, and then you see what works and what doesn't. And you can have a little notepad, and then if your batteries did run out at... Whoa! Some people, they just don't look. They just don't look. Now, if your batteries were to run out at, say, 3 o'clock in the morning, yeah, it's a pain. I grant you that. But you just have to get out the motorhome, plug it in, and within 10-15 minutes, you're good to go, right? So that is the beauty of having the safety net of a campsite. You're allowed to be there. You're around people if you need help. You can plug in if you need to, and you can test your systems and what works, what doesn't, if you need more power, if you need to use less, if it was really comfortable, and if you need more bedding or anything like that. There's a whole host of things that you'll find out from just not plugging in and just doing a few things like that, because you'd have to use everything on board. So if you're going to have a shower, you'd have a shower inside the van, because we're pretending you're not on a campsite. So that's the first way, and that's the way I recommend people that are nervous to start. And the second way I recommend you starting wild camping is with pub stops, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to a pub stop. Now, there's a few reasons why I suggest a pub stop. Is because, again, you're allowed to be there. You're near people, so you feel safe. It makes you feel a lot more secure. Calms them nerves. And I'll show you how to find pub stops later on when we get there. But when you are at a pub stop, there will be noises that you won't have heard on a campsite, and that's the beauty of this. You want to be able to get a little bit out of your comfort zone. You want to hear things, that aren't, air quotes, normal when you're on a campsite. Campsites are very peaceful. No noise after 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and it's very tranquil, it's very nice, and that's what you pay for, that's what you want. You want a nice relaxing place to go. Pubs, again, they are quite peaceful once it gets to a certain point at night, but there are noises. There'll be barrels, you know, making noises, people getting in their cars. There will be, you know, just people walking around in the area, in the vicinity. All those noises get you used to the wild camping noise. Now, our brains are a funny thing, they really are. If you can't see something, so when the blinds are down and you can't see something and you hear a noise, that's when your brain starts playing tricks on you and says that World War III's kicking off outside, but in actual fact, it's just a kid kicking a can or a ball around. It's nothing more than that. So this is why, you know, this really does get you used to those noises, those sounds, and, you know, being in that situation. Because again, if anything happens, you have people around you. Now the pub should be just down here on the left, I believe. This is the pub here. Hey, there it is. Now, I think it's got a car park around the back. Let's have a little look, shall we? Yes, it has. This is what we want. Nice big car park. Right, I think I'll go right out the way down the end, so I'm not a nuisance to anyone, not in anyone's way. Now I'm probably going to stick out a little bit because, well, I'm an 8.5 metre motorhome. Right, let's have a little look, shall we? This is a lovely big car park. Now I'm parked just back end over as much as possible. Now I'm not sticking out too much, and there is this weird kind of parking space here. I don't know if that is a parking space or not. I suppose a car could fit in that, but yeah, this one's still free because I'm not blocking the access of that one. But yeah, I mean, look how big this place is. It's huge car park. Right, let's walk over and see if we can stay the night. Shouldn't be a problem. Famous last words though. We will see what happens. I will try and record, but yeah, I mean, it's a massive car park. As you can see, I look tiny up there. So we'll go over, see if we can stay the night, see if I can book a table, have some food tonight. Because I did see they had a little cheeky offer on their website, so we will have a look at that. Hello, yeah, I've got a motorhome. I was just wondering if I'm okay to have some food tonight and stay in the car park. Is that all right?
As long as you do eat in here.
Yeah, I'm going to eat. I was going to say, can I book a table? And then I'm tucked right in the corner, so I'll be no trouble. I'm just, yeah. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye. Right, as you can see, that wasn't a problem. The woman was worried about me plugging in, and I was like, no, don't need anything. So yeah, booked in for, did I say 7:30? I'm going to have to watch the video now that I just recorded just to make sure what time my booking is. But yeah, booked in for 7:30, I believe. And that's as simple as that. Now I can go get the motorhome all sorted and ready for the evening, ready for my park up tonight. And we can go through a few more hints, tips and tricks on how this all works. Now before we do anything and jump in the motorhome and sort that out, need to level the motorhome. Got to get the lanyard all nice and level, ready for my sleeping. Now just click leveling and click start. And there we go, they're just gonna start. So let's have a little look, shall we? Legs are on the way down. Motorhome is all level, I've just been chilling out. Now let's go through a few things about the pub stops. Now first and foremost, I said there was a few little rules about doing a pub stop. Now the main one is, if this is your first time doing a pub stop and you're dipping your toe into the wild camping and things, then I firmly recommend that for your first couple at least, choose a pub that's about 20 to 30 minutes from your house. What that means is, if for any reason you woke up and you didn't feel right, something just felt off, or you just didn't like it for whatever reason, and there's no bad part of that. If wild camping doesn't sit right with you and campsites is the way, then that's fine. There is no awards given out, there's no brownie points, there's no one's keeping score. You do what makes you feel comfortable, 110%. But if you are parked up and you do feel uncomfortable for that first night or the first couple of nights, you always have that option. You're only 20-30 minutes from home, so you could drive straight home and then you're fine, and that will give you a bit of inner peace as well, by knowing that you're not far from your home. So, you know, the safety, you know. So that's the first thing. Now, got to find pubs, right? So how do we do that? Now, I'm a big fan of Park for Night, and I'm an ambassador for them for many, many years. But Park for Night doesn't have that many pubs. It's more wild parking than pubs. So I would have a quick look at Park for Night, but I'm not expecting to find much. So we'll have a look around the area that I'm in, on the app, and yeah, there's the pub that I'm on is not on there now. This is where I would then flick to search for sites. Now, search for sites is another app. You know, they're both great in their own right. Now, search for sites has got a lot of pubs indicated by the little beer tankard thing. Now, where I am right now, there isn't, the pub that I'm at isn't on here, so I could add it if I wanted to. And likewise, I could add it to Park for Night as long as the pub's okay with it. I would double check, you know. But if we have a little look around at some of the pubs, some of the pub app symbols on here. So this is King's Arm in Solihull. So I'll show you a few pictures of the pub and the car park, and then you've got a little bit of information about it, and usually you've got some reviews so you can see what the crack is, basically. Now, I would definitely have a look at search for sites to find pubs. That's kind of what I use search for sites for. Park for Night is my go-to, but search for sites is my backup, and I use them in combination with each other. But then I flip over to Google Maps. Now, Google Maps is fantastic. I spend most of my life in Google Maps. If we zoom into where I am right now and we turn it on to satellite view, you will see why I chose this park up, because here's the pub, and then you can see how big the car park is. So it's a big, spacious car park. Now, if we just go to another area, let's zoom back out, and all I do to find a pub is literally type in pub. It's not rocket science. And then let's just say I was over in this area, for instance. I would now have a look in. I'd zoom in on pubs. There's not great signal where I am right now. Now this area here, it's gonna zoom, it's gonna clear up in a moment, and it should, so this looks like it's got quite a big car park. So now I'd have a little look, I click it, and then if possible I would click street view, so then I can zoom in and have a look at that level, see if it's what it looks like, what the place looks like. And straight away it already looks like a big car park. Now, I will point out at the very top of this screen, it does say November 2009. So this picture hasn't been updated since 2009. But as you can see, it looks like it's a big car park. Now, if we go back out of this and we look in here, it does look like it's pretty good. Now, I would definitely give that one a visit, or I'd give them a call. Not a problem. Let's have a look at one up the road, the King's Arms. And again, that's not too bad of a car park. I mean, you can see that there's a vehicle there. There is, looks like there's grass that you could overhang. So it's not looking too bad. Let's look at Street View again, and then we can have just gives us a little bit more information than the satellite view. So I do this, and then I either just rock up if it's a big enough car park, and I'm not like on a busy Sunday afternoon, because pubs are busy on Sunday afternoons because they usually serve food, and that's when people things are busy. So I would usually just, you know, I'm happy to rock up as long as it's not, you know, peak time, or I'd give them a call whilst on the way. And literally, I've done this before on video. The script is, hi, I'm traveling through the area, I've got a motorhome or a camper van, I'm going to come into the pub, I want to come into the pub tonight for some food, is it okay if I stay in your car park overnight? And I've never had them say no. Some of them might be a little bit unsure if they're allowed to say yes or no, because it might just be a regular staff member, not the manager. but they never say no. They really don't. It's easy. Now let me just see if I can find one that hasn't got a big car park. So I would then, just highlight. So this one here, I don't know what that car park is at the back. I don't think that's part of it. But this pub here, the Red Lion, it's just not big enough. You can just see straight away. So there's no point in looking at it. And again, this one here, ale rooms. Again, you can see the cars that are there. Just not big enough. Not going to work. That's not saying that you couldn't pit stop there to have a meal, like you'd park down the road somewhere or something like that, and then you'd go in, but it wouldn't work as an overnight park up. So that is basically how I find a pub stop. Now, like I say, I've never had any of them say no. They're always really accommodating. Now, I've got to go through one thing which probably a few of you are thinking about right now. The main and the biggest draw to wild camping is the price, right? It's a lot cheaper. Being able to wild camp here and there a few times in a week's trip cuts the price of the trip right down, until you start paying for pub meals, because that can get out of hand pretty quick. Now, I am fully supportive of pubs, but you don't have to go and spend 30, 40, 50 pounds on a pub meal. You don't have to do that. You are taking a car parking space, but you're not taking it away from anyone. As long as the car park's big enough, you're not taking it away from anyone. So you're not costing the pub anything in that sense. I'm not after any services from the pub. I've got water on board. I've got my electricity. I've got my off-grid system. I'm good. I'm not going to use their bins. I don't need to use any of their services. Don't get me wrong. If they had some services, then I might, use them if they did. But I would definitely compensate them for that in terms of using the pub. Some top tips for like not spending all your money is I would go in for maybe a main and then come have like your dessert and drinks in the van, or I'd do it the other way around. I would have my main meal in the van and I'd go in for a drink and a dessert, or either or after that. That way you are still Patreoning. Is that Patreoning? Is that a word? You're still a customer and giving them something while they give you something, but you're not spending all your money. Now, one way I do look at this is you're going to be buying food anyway. So if you knew you was going to do a couple of pub stops, you just wouldn't buy that food and you buy the food from the pub. I love pubs with food because, well, let's face it, I love food. I kill two birds with one stone. I've not plan to cook anything tonight. I am going in the pub and I'm eating. I did actually, when I was looking on the Google listing of this place to look at the menu to see if there was anything that took my fancy, there was a pop-up on the website saying, do you want to save 40% off main meals? And I was like, yep. So I joined their email list. They've sent me a code and now I get 40% off main meals. That's a bargain all day long. So definitely do that. Have a look at their websites. Some pubs, because they're part of big chains, have discounts to be taken full advantage of. Wild camping is about being in and around places that you wouldn't always be, because campsites are dotted here, there and everywhere, but they're not always in the place that you want. Now, there might be a beautiful walk around here. I don't know the area. It's just a random place to me. But there might be a walk, there might be a hike, there might be, a coffee shop that you want to go visit. There might be something, there might be a friend, something in the area. And that's what attracts a lot of people to wild camping as well. So there's many strains, not just trying to save money, but yeah, pub meals can get you. They can get you because they're flipping tasty. Right, on that note, I'm going to sort the motorhome out, ready to go and have my dinner. Right, I think it's time to get ready to head into the pub, and I'm probably going to take my iPad with me. And like most pubs these days, I'm pretty sure they're going to have free Wi-Fi, and that's great. I'm going to be scrolling a bit, sitting in there, chilling on YouTube, maybe stick a film on while I eat, and all that will be on the free public Wi-Fi from the pub, which is great. But as we all know, that's where the bad guys hang out. And that's where Surfshark comes in. Now, I love Surfshark. I've been using them for years, way before I started working with them. You guys know I love them. One tap on my iPad, my phone, my Mac, my laptop, and everything I'm doing is encrypted. So all my browsing and data stays private, protected, and most importantly, mine. And traveling around like I do, and just in today's world, I'm constantly on different networks all the time. Planes, trains, buses, pubs, cafes, campsites, you name it, it, I'm on them all. So being protected while using them just makes perfect sense, right? It'd be crazy not to be protected. And it's as simple as Surfshark on, job done. But Surfshark doesn't just protect me and my data, there's an added bonus as well. You guys know how much I love unlocking geo-restricted content. So I might be in a pub in the middle of the UK countryside, but I'm going to be watching something on the American catalogue, the Canadian, French, German, Spanish, hundreds. There are literally hundreds of locations and catalogues I have access to with Surfshark. And it's not just you. If you've got a partner, you've got kids, you've got grandkids, one account covers you all. Unlimited devices, phone, tablet, Mac, PC, you name it, they're all covered, one account. So if protecting your data and unlocking geo-restricted content sounds good to you, then you need to give Surfshark a try right now. Scan the QR code up here, click the description, head on over and give Surfshark a try. But make sure you use the code URBAN to get an extra 4 months. Yes, 4 months. And there's never been a better time to try because there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's a no-brainer, right? Right. Enough of this waffle. I need to go get to the pub. I am still parked up where I was. Blinds are all down. The legs are maxed out. It's weird. The level, it looks unlevel, but inside it's level as a die, straight as a die. It really is. But yeah, the legs are maxed out there at the moment. But yeah, no one really down this end of the car park. So if we spin round. Yeah, the car park's getting quite full down that end, but still plenty of room. No bother, not taking space away from anyone or anything like that. So yeah, all good in the hood. This is a fantastic little pub. I didn't know it had so much character and stuff going on inside it. They've got an actual pizza oven, like stone pizza oven over there, and the guy was telling me it's like 300 degrees in there. He's there just making a pepperoni pizza, and there's so many fireplaces in here. It is quite low, so you've got to mind your head, but there's starting to say mind your head. This place has got tons of characters. The beams in here are mad. I don't know the history of the place, but this is a fantastic place. I will give you the what 3 words later in the video, but yeah, I will, because it's a great place. If you've watched these videos for any period of time, you know I love Pepsi Max, and I judge a place hard on what they serve as their soft drink. And this is a winner, because they serve Pepsi Max. Yes. None of that pig swill, Coke Zero. Now, I have just gone for starters and mains. I normally don't always have starters because I get full up quite easily on the mains, but I have got a cheeky little 40% discount code. The prices, I'm expecting good food because it's quite up there. Like the ultimate burger, which is what I've gone with, is $19.79. Now obviously that's going to be almost half price, so yeah, hence the reason of the starters, and they sounded so flipping good. Now the starters is our garlic and cheddar baked mushrooms, so sauteed button mushrooms and a garlic cheese sauce topped with mature cheddar cheese, crispy smoked streaky bacon, mozzarella pearls, chives, and on toasted focaccia. Yes. Now that just sounds amazing. They've got the cheese and bacon burger or the ultimate beef burger, which I'm thinking I've done a winner there. 2 3-ounce charred beef patties, barbecue pulled pork, hot honey, smoked streaky bacon, cheese slices and crispy onions. I told them to hold the red chilies because I'm a bit of a girl when it comes to spice. It's a pretty decent menu, really is. I mean, there's a lot going on. Right, now this is my setup. People know that I come to the pub. I've got an AirPod in and I've got the iPad there. I've got obviously my camera to film. But yeah, who doesn't want a little iPad there, you know, listening in the ear, and then you can just chill out every dinner. I'm on my own. I'm not bothering anyone. I probably am while I'm waffling to you guys talking to a camera. But I'm on my own. Just, yeah, gonna have my dinner here. Along with it. Oh yeah, you can't beat mushrooms. I'm only going to show one bite because this is going to go everywhere. Once I've done this, that's it. Right, let's give it a go. good. Quite barbecuey. Right, I'm going to join me now. Dinner done and dusted. Now, the food was good, but the portions for the price, it's not incredible. I think I actually counted like 18 tiny button mushrooms for about £8. I'm looking at my motorhome from here and look at this. It looks like it's right up, but it's so level inside. That looks really high, doesn't it, right? I gotta say, I do love them legs. Them legs are brilliant. The time is 5 to 9. So I think the pub shuts at about 11. It's not majorly busy, but there's still people here. There's a little bit of noise around. There's a road over there. But this is just a typical pub park up, basically. And this is what will really get you used to wild camping. Yeah, I'm just going to jump in the motorhome now. I'm going to do a few bits and bobs in there whilst I just chill out. And then when I'm ready to settle down and go to sleep, I'll jump out, show you around, see what's happening, what's not happening, and we'll go from there. It has just turned midnight. I'm just messing around in here with my laptop and the cameras and bits and bobs. Actually, I'm messing around with AI. Is anyone of you obsessed with AI at the moment? I'm just loving it. The things I can do with it, build. It's a rabbit hole. It really is. Nothing to do with this video, but I thought I'd just let you know that. But right, we're going to step outside. I think the street lights have gone off, so it seems pitch black. But we'll jump out. I'll show you around, and yeah, if we see something, we see something. If we don't, we don't. But let's have a little look, shall we? Now, yeah, you can't see anything. It is pitch black. Right, it's a bit like Blair Witch Project, but hey, a little bit of road noise, but other than that, yeah, there's nothing. It is just the stars, to be fair. Good morning. It still is morning, it's about 11:30. I don't like to have to pick a place where I have to be out of there at 6 in the morning. And pub stops, usually they want you gone by about 12 o'clock for a lunchtime rush and things like that. And it's just courteous, unless you're going to have more food noise than that, which they do. I said do. Liam would love that. They do a lunch menu, so yeah, you could pop in there for lunch. But yeah, this was a perfect park up. It really was. Not a problem. No noise last night. I mean, it was really quiet. I was trying to demonstrate, and I think I have demonstrated how to start wild camping, but this was probably campsite level quiet. Fantastic park up, really is. I hope this does help people that want to start wild camping, because it doesn't have to be, right, you go straight out onto the streets and this, that and the other, or down some country lane and you're a bit nervous, you're anxious and all that. You don't have to start that way, and it doesn't have to end that way. I mean, if this is enough for you and this is your level, that's fine. That's not a problem. You can do whatever you want to do with your motorhome and camper van, as long as you're out and about and you're having a good time. That's all that matters. Now, this pub is called Ye Old Sacrin's Head, which is in Coventry. Now, the what three words for this pub is move, audible, commuting. There we go. Move, audible, commuting. Now, if you do want to start wild camping this year in your motorhome and camper van, I have written a book about how to do all this and so much more. The book has been very well received. It's got lots and lots of 5-star reviews, which you can see on the website. If you scan the QR code up here, click the link in the description, you can head on over and have a look at the book and get yourself out there and wild camping in your camper van and motorhome this year. Now, as well as having the book, which is a fantastic resource to start wild camping, I've got a stack of videos on this channel about how to find park ups, and I take you on drive alongs around random parts of the UK and show you how to wild camp, what I look for, where I would park, where I wouldn't park. So I'll put a playlist up here and you can go check that out, because it will show you what my thought process is on how to find spots and what I'm looking for and what I'm not looking for, and then we actually stay in them, and then we see how they all turn out. Shocker, they're all good. There's never been anything bad. I'm still waiting for that day. I'm not waiting for it, but I'm waiting for it. You know what I mean? But if you do want to learn any more, then you've got the book and you've got a whole heap of videos on the channel. And if after all that you've got any comments, questions or queries, or you want to see other videos, then just leave them in the comment section below and I'll be happy to get to them as soon as I can. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Bye.